Your first luxury watch matters way more than people admit. Because the wrong watch doesn't just cost money, it follows you. And trust me, this industry is filled with expensive mistakes disguised as safe choices. So today, I'm showing you 10 watches, from Longines to Rolex to Grand Seiko, that are actually worth your money before you spend serious cash. Some are future classics, some are overrated, and one of these might quietly be the smartest luxury watch purchase on the market today. Crank the crown. The Longines flagship Heritage, $3,450. If you're buying your first luxury watch, here's something nobody tells you. Most people go too sporty, too fast. The flagship Heritage slows the whole thing down. At 38.5mm, with that warm blue dial, applied indices, and old money elegance, this thing wears like a handwritten letter from another era. Inside beats the automatic caliber L899, with a silicon balance spring and a chunky 72-hour power reserve, which means you can leave it off all weekend and it's still ticking Monday morning. The case is slim, polished, and ridiculously comfortable under a cuff. And unlike a lot of entry luxury watches trying desperately to look expensive, this one simply is tasteful, like whiskey neat, smooth, warm, and slightly dangerous. At $3,450, this is for someone who values timelessness over hype. If you want loud wrist presence, skip it. But if you want elegance that ages well, this is one of the smartest first luxury watches you can buy. The Tudor Black Bay 58, $5,350. The Black Bay 58 might genuinely be the safest luxury sports watch under $6,000. And I mean that as a compliment, because this is the watch people buy after making mistakes with bigger, flashier watches. The 39mm case wears beautifully, compact, balanced, almost vintage in proportion, while the burgundy bezel gives it just enough swagger without screaming for attention. Inside is Tudor's METAS certified caliber MT5400-U with a silicon balance spring, 65-hour power reserve, and anti-magnetic resistance that makes daily ownership stupidly easy. And the bracelet? Way better than old Tudors. This thing feels dense, reassuring, like a Rolex that stopped trying to impress strangers. Here's where it gets interesting though. If you're expecting this to feel flashy or luxurious in the traditional sense, you might actually be disappointed. This is a tool watch at heart. But if you want versatility, reliability, and a watch you'll still love 10 years from now, don't overthink it. Buy this. And hey, if you're into watches that blend heritage with horsepower, from spring-drive sorcery to twin-barrel beasts, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You're in the right place. The Grand Seiko SB-GM 221, $5,400. Collectors love pretending this watch is some hidden secret. It's not. The SB-GM 221 is famous now because it deserves to be. That cream dial shifts between ivory, champagne, and soft silver depending on the light, while those razor-sharp Zaratsu-polished indices catch reflections like shattered ice. At 39.5mm, it wears refined but never fragile, and inside sits Grand Seiko's Caliber 9 S66, automatic GMT, 72-hour power reserve, plus 5-3 seconds per day accuracy, and finishing that honestly embarrasses watches costing twice as much. The blue GMT hand adds just enough color without ruining the restraint. This is the kind of watch that quietly ruins other watches for you. Suddenly, cheap polishing becomes impossible to ignore. At $5,400, this is not for hype chasers or logo hunters. But if you value craftsmanship, nuance, and the feeling of discovering something deeper over time, this is the one I'd buy over almost anything else near this price. And hey, if any of the watches I've mentioned have sparked your interest, or if you're deep in a late-night grail hunt, I've got links in the description that go straight to Exquisite Timepieces, who I'm confident to call a vetted and trusted partner. They're a fully authorized dealer for over 80 luxury watch brands, from Grand Seiko and Tudor to independents like Angelus and Ball. So you're browsing real inventory backed by real manufacturer warranties with global shipping. And for viewers in the US, they offer free shipping on all orders over $1,000. I've personally bought from them, and I only partner with retailers I'd recommend to a fellow collector over coffee. You'll find the links in the description if you want to check them out. All right, back to the chronos. The Omega Aquaterra 150M turquoise, $7,400. This Aquaterra is what happens when Omega stops being conservative for 5 minutes and absolutely nails it. That turquoise dial shouldn't work. On paper, it sounds like Miami nightclub nonsense, but in person, it's mesmerizing. The sunburst finish constantly shifts between icy blue and tropical water tones, while the horizontal teak texture keeps it grounded. At 38mm, this is one of the most wearable luxury sports watches Omega makes. Slim enough for tailoring, sporty enough for everyday abuse. Inside beats the coaxial master chronometer caliber 8800, METAS certified, anti-magnetic to 15,000 Gauss, with a 55-hour power reserve and one of the smoothest winding feels in the business. And unlike the Seamaster Diver, this doesn't scream, "Look at my watch." It whispers it. At $7,400, this is for someone who wants one watch that can genuinely do everything. If you hate colourful dials, skip it. Otherwise, this might quietly replace half your collection. That's why I break these decisions down like this, so you don't waste your money on the wrong one. The Breitling Navitimer B01 chronograph, $11,230. The Navitimer is gloriously unnecessary, and that's exactly why people fall in love with it. Nobody is using the slide rule bezel to calculate fuel consumption anymore, but emotionally, this thing feels like aviation romance strapped to your wrist. The mint green dial gives the entire watch a softer, more modern energy, while the polished case and bead-like bezel reflections make it shimmer like cockpit instrumentation at sunset. At 41mm, it wears surprisingly compact for a chronograph packed with this much visual information. Inside is Breitling's in-house caliber B01, column wheel, vertical clutch, COSC certified, and carrying a healthy 70-hour power reserve. The chronograph pushes feel crisp, mechanical, almost ceremonial, like cocking a vintage camera shutter. At $11,230, this is not the minimalist choice. This watch has personality for days. But if you want your first luxury watch to feel emotional, charismatic, and unapologetically alive, this beats half the sterile luxury sports watches on the market. The Tudor Monarch, $5,875. This is where Tudor gets interesting, because the Monarch doesn't feel like Tudor chasing Rolex anymore. It feels like Tudor experimenting. The integrated bracelet design gives it a sharper, more architectural personality, while the brushed surfaces and crisp transitions keep it looking expensive without becoming flashy. And that matters. A lot of first luxury buyers confuse attention with quality. The proportions here are modern, clean, and surprisingly versatile, especially if you wear mostly neutral colors or tailoring. Inside is Tudor's automatic manufacture movement with COSC level precision and everyday reliability baked into the experience. The bracelet drapes beautifully too, no cheap jangly nonsense here. Now, is this the emotional icon that a Speedmaster is? No, and honestly, that's the risk. At $5,875, this is for someone who values modern design and understated luxury over heritage storytelling. If you want timeless familiarity, buy the Black Bay 58 instead. But if you want something cleaner, rarer, and less predictable, This is the smarter conversation starter. The Omega Speedmaster. First Omega in space, $8,900. The Speedmaster FOIS doesn't feel like a reissue, it feels like a memory. Everything about this watch is warm, nostalgic, and strangely emotional. From the symmetrical case, to the vintage Omega logo, to that grey-blue dial that shifts mood constantly under changing light. At 39.7mm, this might genuinely be the best-wearing modern Speedmaster Omega makes. Slimmer, cleaner, more intimate. Inside beats the manual wind caliber 3861, coaxial escapement, META certification, anti-magnetic resistance, and a 50-hour power reserve. But honestly, the magic is the ritual. Winding this thing every morning feels like loading film into an old Leica. Slow, intentional, human. At $8,900, this is not the most practical watch here. If you want convenience, buy the Aquaterra. But if you want heritage, emotion, and a watch that makes you feel something every single day, this is where the Speedmaster finally becomes art. If you're trying not to waste money on your next watch, subscribe. The Glashütte Original CQ Reed Green, $11,800. Rolex gets all the attention, but this is what collectors start buying once they're tired of the Rolex conversation. The CQ has one of the richest green dials in modern watchmaking, deep, organic, almost moss-like under soft lighting, while the applied markers and syringe hands give it genuine vintage diver soul. At 39.5mm, it wears compact, muscular, and unbelievably balanced on wrist. Inside sits the caliber 3911, built in Glashütte with a swan neck regulator, skeletonized rotor, and finishing so good you'll start inventing excuses to look through the caseback. The bracelet feels incredible too, dense, smooth, expensive in the right way, like a German luxury car door shutting. At $11,800, this is not the safe mainstream choice, and honestly, good. If you value individuality, craftsmanship, and quiet confidence over recognition, I'd buy this over a Submariner without losing a second of sleep. The Rolex GMT Master 2 Pepsi, $22,000. The Pepsi GMT is dangerous, not because it's expensive, because it's so easy to romanticize. This watch carries decades of mythology on its wrist. Pan Am pilots, jet-age travel, vintage Rolex obsession, collector mania, the whole thing. And somehow, it still delivers. The red and blue Cerachrome bezel is instantly recognizable, while the Jubilee bracelet makes the 40mm case wear smoother than melted butter. Inside beats Rolex's caliber 3285 with Chronergy escapement, 70-hour power reserve, and Traveler GMT functionality, so intuitive it ruins lesser GMTs for you. But here's the uncomfortable part. At $22,000 pre-owned, you are absolutely paying for hype, scarcity, and logo prestige. That's man math for you. Still, some watches transcend logic. This is one of them. If this is stretching your finances, don't buy it. Seriously. But if you can comfortably afford it, and want one modern Rolex that genuinely earns its reputation, the Pepsi is still the king. The Grand Seiko Spring Drive Ushio 300 Diver, $12,400. This watch might quietly be the smartest luxury watch in this entire video, and almost nobody outside hardcore enthusiasts will understand why. The SLGB 025 combines Grand Seiko's insane finishing philosophy with the new Spring Drive UFA movement, accurate to roughly plus or minus 20 seconds per year, not per month, per year. The green dial looks tidal, alive, almost liquid beneath the crystal, while the titanium case keeps the 44mm diver surprisingly wearable. And then there's the glide of the seconds hand, perfectly smooth, completely silent, like time itself stopped ticking and started floating instead. Inside, the spring drive caliber merges quartz precision with mechanical soul in a way Swiss brands still can't replicate. At $12,400, this is not a hype watch. It's a thinker's watch. If you want recognition, buy the Rolex. But if you want the watch that serious collectors quietly respect the most, this is probably the strongest purchase here. The truth is, your first luxury watch should not be the watch everybody else tells you to buy. It should be the watch that still makes sense after the honeymoon phase ends. Because eventually, the hype fades. The YouTube rankings fade. The best watch under 10 grand lists fade. And what you're left with is ownership. The way the bracelet feels at 7 a.m. before work. The way the dial catches light during dinner. The weird emotional attachment that slowly builds over years. That's what actually matters. Some of these watches are safe buys. Some are emotional buys. And a couple, I honestly think, are smarter than the mainstream alternatives everyone keeps chasing. So now I want to hear from you. Which one would you actually spend your own money on? And which one do you think is overrated? Let the comments become a battlefield. Also, some of the watches mentioned are linked below through Exquisite Timepieces, an authorized dealer I trust with full manufacturer warranty support. If you made it this far, please subscribe. And if you like this video, you should watch this next one on the screen because you might like it as well.